Hey Facebook, it's Amanda and Bo coming to you from a warm Harlem. No ice, thank God. The weather tried to keep us, well, it did keep us out of the house of the Lord today, but anywhere that you're at, it could be your church. So we're coming to you from our kitchen table. We're very nervous. Bo's very nervous. I'm nervous. When we got asked to do this yesterday, I kind of started thinking about what we would talk about. And I promised myself I wouldn't cry, but the Lord just brought to me that your testimony can be hard. It's not always easy to live through, but it always has purpose. In the end, there's always purpose for however God has brought you back to Him. So for us, church hurt set in at the beginning of our relationship. But when I met Bo was the holy, I was the hell in the relationship. God knew we needed each other.
That's right.
Bo was really tied into a church, and thanks to him, he got me tied into his church. We decided, as the relationship progressed, we decided to get married, and we wanted that pastor to marry us. Went through all the do's and the don't, the counseling and all. And about 2 weeks before, he decided that he could not marry us, that we were unequally yoked. And when I look back at that, we were. It's like I just said. He was the holy, I was the hell in the relationship. But he knew us based on paper, not our heart. And that judgment of one person in that moment kept us out of church for what? 15 years?
Yeah, at least 15.
We raised a son out of church just because that judgment.
It hurt.
It hurt. Yeah. It hurt him.
I decided I wasn't going back to church ever.
No matter what.
I was done. I was hurt.
Yeah. And you kind of pushed God out too, right?
Pushed God out and got mad at him. And that is something that's not recommended. Do not get mad at God.
Yeah. It usually doesn't go your way.
No.
But thanks to some wonderful people in our life, the Hammonds, we knew them through Drew and their son Clayton. She invited us to church one time. It was like a Christmas thing they were doing outside of their normal church. Drew had actually been asking us, hey, he was about 13 or 14. Why don't we go to church? My friends go to church. Why don't we go to church? And the answer was always, we don't know where to go to be comfortable. For us, God was always still there. He was never at the forefront, but he was always still there in our lives. And so Dina invited us to church one time. Bo was working. So Drew and I went. Loved it. Loved the atmosphere. Loved the feeling of it, but we never went back. Bo at that time worked shift work. So you worked 2 weekends out of the month, no matter what. So I didn't want the judgment of going to a new church with just me and a child. People think the worst. Single mom, what has she been through when they don't know your story? So we let judgment keep us out of church for a very long time. And by the grace of God, it's all God's timing in your life. It's you do the work, but it's really God's timing that puts you in the place.
He's planting seeds.
Exactly, yeah. So we had ran into Dina one more time, and she was like, we just got done with barn. We just got we just got done with barn church. And I was like, you go to church in a barn? And she's like, yeah, you need to check it out. And so I kind of stalked her Facebook page and found a flyer that they had posted about a fishing day out at the barn, out at Whitaker Farms. And it's so weird because Bo grew up living in Deering. We taught Drew how to ride a dirt bike, a four-wheeler, all through the dirt roads of Whitaker Farms,
yeah.
Right? I mean, you and him would go off riding the dirt roads, not knowing that in 10 years' time, those would be the most amazing people that God had ever blessed us with. So we, Drew and I went to the fishing event. Bo didn't go. And that night, they had a service after the fishing event in the barn. Drew and I stayed. It was a guest speaker. He talked about camels. If you know, you know. And I went home and I told Bo, I was like, yes, this is church, but it doesn't feel churchy at all. They have this barn church that they all call it. I don't even really know. I was introduced to Pastor Jody that night and Pastor Jenny, but I didn't know how much. I didn't know anything. So went to Bo and told him that, it felt really good. It felt really nice. So Drew and I, at this point, you still weren't interested.
I was actually warning you, please don't get hurt.
Yes, he actually warned me. He's like, please.
Go to church. I'm not going to stop you from going but I just want you not to get hurt.
Yeah. So it was several months of Drew and I going to Barn Church without Bo. And I would, talk to the ladies at Barn Church and be like, my husband, yes, I'm married. I do wear a ring. But he doesn't have any interest in coming to church. So we all, a lot of people prayed for Bo to come back. And then my time frame is...
You threatened me with supper or something. You're not going to get supper tonight
unless
unless you come here. Yeah,
we would cook for Barn Church.
Right. You threatened me with supper.
And I cooked this big part of the meal and packed it all up in the car. And he's like, where are you going? I said, if you want supper, you're coming with us. So if you know Bo, he's going to follow the food. He's going to go where the food is. So that's how we got Bo into Barn Church. And at this point, neither of us had any intention, any desire to do anything more than Barn Church. But thanks to Miss Julie and her cataracts, she asked me to drive her to North Augusta one Sunday morning. I had been thinking about it, but I just didn't know if it was the right time. So I drove her over to North Augusta, and the Barn Church family, the Barn Church setting was family. Don't you agree?
That's right.
We all met around a dinner table. We all, it was family. God was there 100%, but it was family.
When we got in the parking lot.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah, this is different. The feeling I felt when I walked in the North Augusta Sanctuary, I felt God. And I'd never felt more empty in my entire life. And it was a sad feeling of emptiness, but it was also a feeling of like God telling me, all right, I've gotten you to the lowest point. Now I'm going to help build you back up. And I went to we still stayed going to Barn Church as a couple, but I would go to North Augusta alone. And I don't really remember why you went to North Augusta. I have the memory of a 90-year-old.
I got comfortable enough at Barn.
Yeah, you got comfortable enough at Barn. You got to know the people.
That's right.
And I wrote this down. Church isn't just a place, it's your people. And we had to establish the relationships with these people first before we would allow ourselves the vulnerability to possibly get hurt again, right? But so as a family, we started going to church. And it was amazing. Drew's life, I started seeing changes in his life. Once Bo got on board, I started seeing changes in our family. It was like the alignment was happening first.
That's right.
Are we perfect? No. There's still lots of work that God needs to do in our life, in our marriage, and our family, and our child. But I made the decision, and I think Bo did too, that no matter what, no matter if Pastor Jody or Pastor Jenny or anybody, we would never allow a person to come between us and the Lord again.
That's right. Because
that was time that, well, I hate to say that was time wasted because you never know.
No, it wasn't time wasted.
No, it's all God's perfect timing. So, shortly, well, we were just talking about it. We started church in February of 2021. So we're coming up on 6 years?
I think so, yeah.
5.
Count your fingers. Go ahead.
22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, 5 years. We're coming up on 5 years. We've been through some hard things in those 5 years. We lost your mom.
Yeah.
We lost my dad. We've lost people before, but I think Bo will agree with me. The peace that we felt when his mom and my dad passed, knowing that we had a church family to fall back on.
That's right.
That wasn't there before. So, and Drew himself has experienced loss since we started church, and it's just different now. There's a peace.
That's right.
Knowing that we're all working towards the same goal at the end. So, go ahead.
Good. Go ahead.
What were you going to talk about after this?
I
Oh,
forgot.
so Drew, since we started going to church, Drew's been baptized. We had talked about, I had never been baptized before. Drew hasn't either. Bo had when you were younger. So we had talked about all being baptized together as a family. Well, Bo was at work one night and we were having a baptism at church. And Drew kicks off his boots and he goes, "Call Daddy. It's my night." And I was like, "We talked about doing this as a family." And he's like, "It's my night." So I called Bo. Bo made it from his plant down in Augusta to North Augusta campus in like 13 minutes. I don't know.
It was fast.
Yeah, it was fast. Drew got baptized that night. I didn't feel like it was my time, but so I waited. But we got to celebrate him and his journey with God and how it had grown. And then the next time our church held baptisms, Bo and I got baptized. So we are baptized as a family now. It just didn't happen at the same time. But it's about the people.
That's right. It's the people.
And you just got back from a duck camp with a bunch of guys. I was so nervous. He's not a hunter, for one.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. The man can't swim. He sinks like a rock. So putting him in waders in water, I begged Pastor John, I was like, "Please don't let him drown. Please don't let him drown." But they took such good care of them. And you talk about duck camp.
It was just an amazing experience. You could feel the Holy Spirit the whole time. When you pulled in the parking lot there, you knew something was going to change in your life, and it definitely changed mine.
Good. That was my prayer for you, was that you had an experience that you couldn't get anywhere else. And that's all about, Drew too. Drew went with you, and I think someone mentioned to you there the connection between you and Drew. Yeah. It's like they are literally attached at the hip. And so even though it took him 13 or 14 years growing up with us not being the best example, the time now matters.
That's right. Me not being there working shift work.
Yeah. And, you be careful what you pray for. Because I've been praying for us to have boldness to speak about the Lord. And then a Facebook Live is thrown in our face.
That's right.
And this is nerve-wracking, y'all. I'm looking at the screen and there's 43 people right now, and I'm like,
I'm trying not to look at it.
Yeah, but so be purposeful in your prayer, and make sure that if you pray for it, you're willing to do it. I prayed for God to remove anything out of our lives that didn't honor Him, and there's been some things that we haven't gotten. There's been opportunities that we didn't get, but the biggest answered prayer for us is Bo came off shift work after 24 years?
Something like that,
yeah. So he's with us every night now. He's with us every weekend. And that's just an answered prayer that God was like, yeah, I do see that he needs to lead your family and be there for the big things and the little things. And so just the work that God does in your family, that is possible, and it's in his time. And one thing the word that I thought of today that just keeps coming up in my mind is, and now I've just lost it. I think I have Alzheimer's.
No, you don't. It's Facebook Live.
Just things are going to change. Things are going to change. If you've known us for more than 5 years, I pray that you see a change in us. And I pray that change is the light of Jesus shining through us and working towards, just honoring him. Right. Everything in our life, I want to honor him. And it's hard. It's not easy. Your friend groups are going to change. What meant something to you is going to change. It's going to be for the good. And if your life gives him glory, then that's all that we're meant to be. That's why we're here. Right?
That's it.
What else?
That's it.
You can't be it.
Why not?
You got a whole testimony right here to talk about. Bo was a racer. I met Bo at the racetrack. I didn't want to meet a man at the racetrack because if you know, they're not the greatest. But at this point in my life, he was the motor man, not the race car driver. So I felt a little bit more confident in my pursuit. So his testimony is all about, I think he Google searched where is race in the Bible.
No, I knew some of it, but going back over a lot of it over time. So when I got mad at God, I got everything erased. And I was told I had to learn it all again the right way. So that's what, if y'all see me quiet in church, I'm just absorbing everything.
Yeah. Because you were very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And you're still knowledgeable. But like you
It
said,
got erased.
he gave it to you once, and then now he's gonna make you live it, I think.
That's it.
Yeah. So, to our friends who haven't come to church with us yet, we're gonna keep bothering you to come to church with us, because we want the love of the Lord to be shown through you too. So, anything else? What was that? I still can't go back to that word that I was thinking about. Refinement in the Lord. Yes. So you ask for things to be taken out of your life that doesn't give glory to God. It doesn't happen overnight. And it takes time, right?
You gotta get to that point of full surrender.
Yeah. And it's different for me daily. Like some days I am fully surrendered, and some days I'm like, I can do this by myself. And then the Lord knocks on my door. He's like, no, you can't.
It's hard.
But anyway, we're grateful for the opportunity that our church has provided us to serve people, to just shine.
That's right.
Anything else?
I think so.
We're about to hit the end button.
I know, got it.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so much. We love you.